All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of the Fit40 Podcast. We have an incredible guest with us. We have an incredible return guest with us. We have Mike Doehla in the house. He is the founder of Stronger You. He's a father of two, and he also happens to have a very impressive Lego collection. So, Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I like to brag that I probably have like the coolest Lego collection out of anyone most people know, but that doesn't include like those Lego influencers that get all the free stuff.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
that's just a different ball game.
I spend a lot of my post-business sale money on Legos and berries
Yeah.
for the kids.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I know my brother got me the Dobby one behind me for Christmas,
Yeah.
and he's like, dude, I had no idea how expensive Legos are. I'm like, what do you mean? What did you spend? And he told me, and I'm just like, what? Like, I could have
Yeah.
swore that was like a $20 purchase.
Oh yeah, I mean some of these things, dude. Like I have the Death Star. It's like currently the biggest set they have. It was like $1,000. But it took
Jesus.
me like it probably took me. It's funny because at first when I was gonna do it, I was like tracking because I wanted to know how long it was going to take me. But it became a pain in the butt to like stop and write down like how much time I took that day. But I feel like it had to be like 35 hours. So like I got 35 good hours of like enjoyment and like chilling out and
Yeah.
creating this like really cool display piece. So you could argue it's expensive, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think so too. And it really depends on what level you're at. Are you like the grind, like those video gamers that will spend hours upon hours just to achieve? Or are you the type that's like, I just want something to do with my hands?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm probably a little so like it depends. If there's one I really wanted, like I'll just blow through it. If I haven't done Legos in a little while, I'll literally have like sore fingers the next day. And like my
Yep.
nails are all like I'm like, it's like tender. But
Or
usually
God
like a
forbid you
little bit
cut
of
your nails right before doing it.
oh dude, yeah. And then this is probably boring the shit out of people, by the way, but whatever. This is my show right now with Brian. So
Exactly. Exactly. This is our show.
yeah. I love it, man. Everybody thinks I'm like this weird like Lego nerd and they're right. But it's just, dude, it's like it checks so many boxes. It's like chills me out. It's like cool art to have around the house. The kids are getting into it, which supposedly makes them like smarter. There were some studies. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna look too deep into that study. I'm just gonna take it at face value.
It's kind of like when we repost studies, we're like, good enough. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Bro, we all got these weird biases. We're like, oh, this one said intermittent fasting isn't needed. Okay, yep, that's real. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just look at Menno Henselman stuff and I'm like 50%. I'm like, oh God, this he's talking absolutes, but then there's one that's like menopausal women. It turns out that your uh menopause isn't really doing it. It's actually all these other things. I'm like, repost, repost,
Yeah,
repost.
yeah. Dude, there's some that'll pop up. I'm like, I don't know if I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very hit or miss.
Yep.
But as long as it has a good outcome, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And now I wanted to touch on how, I mean, research obviously being like a big one, but more so like just the nutrition coaching space, because
Yep.
I know as the founder of Stronger You, you basically created the monster of a nutrition coaching company. And a lot of people have had experience through COVID, through past COVID with people online helping them with their nutrition. And I'm curious just on your take right now, being that you're kind of removed and you could see everything going on. What is the nutrition space like right now as far as coaching, whether it's like the client facing stuff or even like the behind the scenes with the admin and the coaching?
Yeah, it's like when I because I'm still like pretty involved and like, I don't work or anything right now, but I'm like I talk to people all the time. I still follow all this stuff. I'm up on the latest research, whatever. So I'm like, I'm still paying very close attention, and it just seems like the space as a whole, I think, is a little scared because of the GLP-1s and the AI and things that like are and the competition. Like everybody that is like, and I always joke, like, and I'm one of these people. Like I was very lucky to be a benefactor of how easy it was to get into the industry. But like anybody that's like kind of into fitness and doesn't really like their real job wants to be like a coach. And it's never been easier. It seems like now, I don't even know if people have certifications. They just kind of like yell on the internet. They become like amateur movie producers basically. And I'm using that as a compliment because I think a lot of people's content is awesome, but I don't think it's scary because some of the best coaches out there, like I consider you a very good coach, you might not get the exposure because you're not doing the things or are the person that has this like crazy following or wants to become like an actor on the internet. So I think a lot of people are a little worried because those people are getting clients and getting attention. So it's like, how do we go back to like the grassroots way of getting clients and having a successful business while all this other crap is happening? And to me, I think it's the same thing that I think any business should always do is make sure your product is really good, which I challenge every coach who thinks their product is good to actually know if it's good. And I think you can do that a number I think you do surveys. I think you could ask people who have done it. Like I'm happy to talk to coaches and be like, hey, like I think maybe that doesn't work because X, Y, Z. A lot of opportunities like the onboarding and things like that for coaches. You can make sure your clients are getting results. That can be a number of things. Doesn't have to be just weight loss. Could be performance. Could be sports performance. Um, could be feelings and relationship with food. There's so many different things that I think us coaches can figure out for people. And even our old clients were like, "Oh, well, I didn't lose weight this week. I'm not doing well in the program." And I'm like, "Well, you got better at food prep. You had some really tough conversations with your husband, who's been a pain in the ass about eating pizza every Friday or whatever he wanted to do. Like these are all wins. This is all results." And I think there's so many opportunities for coaches to help their clients and just get better themselves at realizing all these wins for people. And once you have that stuff, like, I mean, we're in the business of helping, we could pretty much help any human on the planet with our services. And those people walk around, they're walking and talking billboards, and they can basically sell our products themselves. So, like, we don't have to be scared. We do have to be aware of what's happening. But I think it's in certain networks, it's very easy to stand out and be as like the helper, the coach that everybody goes to. Because even, I talk to a lot of people and they're like, some of these influencers, like they have so many followers that I don't think the average consumer even thinks that they can help them because they don't even know that they're a coach or they're like almost like a celebrity at this point. Whereas like people like us with like, like maybe it's like a sweet spot for followers in like the 3, 4, 5, 10,000 range. Like, okay, those people are legit. They're coaches. They have a reputation, but they're not like this larger than life figure on the internet. And that's not to say some of these people aren't great coaches. We know people like Jordan Syatt and stuff, buddy of mine. He's a great coach, but he's like a celebrity now. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people out there that are they're big, big deals. And I think coaches just need to realize like there are so many people in this world that need your help. You just got to get the hell out there and know as many people as humanly possible. And I realize I've been rambling for like 5 minutes, so I'll let you talk.
Oh no, this is like a week off for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
go ahead. But
I
no, I
was
mean,
just
at first,
going.
First off, I appreciate you saying that I was one of those coaches in what you consider the good
Yeah.
coaching realm because that does mean a lot. And it's interesting that you bring up like the fact that like, yeah, I don't get a lot of reach, but honestly, it's weird because there's like an inverse relationship. Like speaking to Jordan Syatt, I was in his mentorship when
Mhm.
TikTok started and I
Yeah.
got a good chunk of people there, but I've never been like more broke. And then now I
Yeah.
stopped caring about that stuff and focus on the in person and it's like doing better than ever. So it's like, it's weird because a lot of people are sold on this dream of social media and doing everything online. And it's like, I get it, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's almost peaked a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could still be going up, but I feel like it's a very crowded spot, and I use this analogy a lot, but I feel like we're all like fishermen and women throwing in fishing poles to the same pond, trying to catch the same fish. But what if we take our fishing pole and our tackle box or whatever the hell fisher people have, and they walk over to another place and they throw a fishing pole in there? And these places are everywhere in the community. And like just because we service people online doesn't mean we have to find them online. And at Stronger You, we had a ton of success in certain pockets online, like specifically the CrossFit world, Peloton world. We got into tonal early. Like we had a lot of those users and those program doers on our program, but like who do you think after they got results, who do you think they got? They didn't go online and get a friend to sign up for Stronger You. They were at Thanksgiving dinner and they were eating dessert and someone was like, "Wait, aren't you on a diet?" And they're like, "Yeah, let me tell you about it. I could eat whatever the heck I want as long as I don't overeat it." And then like we used to send business cards to people around these holidays because we knew they were going to be bombarded with inquiries from their friends and family. So if any coaches are listening, there's a tip. Make it easy for your clients to tell their friends and family around times where they are going to be around friends and family.
Yeah. I even took it a step further. I'm like, listen, you guys don't even have to hand anything. Give me their name and number. I'll reach out. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, it works out great. But at the risk of making this more for coaches, because I would love to go down that
Dude,
rabbit hole.
I'm fine. You tell
But
me who you want me to talk to and I will.
I think most of the people listening are the clients that are like, listen, this guy coached hundreds and thousands of
Yeah.
people. Like, what's the secret sauce? Like, what did you, those clients that you said could eat dessert and their
Yep.
families were like flabbergasted? Like, what were some of the key, I guess, characteristics of like the most successful people you remember?
Yeah, so I always I think of it like this. When I created the program, and like people are funny because they're like, "Oh, it's you just gave people macros and somehow you got successful." And I'm like, "Well, that was a part of it. That was like one branch of it." But when you think about what the dieting process is or fitness or whatever, like you have to reverse engineer the system and think about like don't think about what people have to do. Think about the things that they might not be doing and then create solutions for those things. So like with the flexible dieting approach, like obviously people were attracted to that because especially now, I think there's a huge opportunity for coaches to be like, hey, you can eat whatever you want as long as you fit it in these numbers or whatever and eat your protein and fiber. Because it seems like everybody's trying to go back to clean eating. And I think it's just like scaring people away from like trying to do anything. So like you give people a flexible approach. There you go. You give them community with like-minded people because dieting is lonely and annoying. So if you could make dieting or fitness more fun than the other guy, like you're probably gonna win. You got to look at some data somewhere. There's a lot of these plans are just like, just do this, just do that. I think it's gonna work. And I'm like, well, let's prove it work. Like I'm gonna look at weight, I'm gonna look at measurements, I'll look at numbers. Like we got to the point where we knew, and this is gonna sound like a joke, but we knew how often our clients were pooping just to make sure they had like healthy, gut. And when they would weigh in for a week and be up 4 pounds and they
Yeah.
didn't take a crap, we're like, okay, well, what's going on here? So like there's so many things that you could look into and we just made it enjoyable. And I think if that's what you do for your clients, and if you're a person that's trying to lose weight or be healthy or whatever, like you have to try to figure out like I think most people need a challenge because I think a lot of people in the industry are making things either too damn difficult or too easy. So I think there's like that middle ground of not necessarily being like a drill sergeant, not necessarily being a cheerleader, but creating a program or following a program that pushes you a little bit, but the goals are still attainable. So you get that dopamine, you get those wins and you stick with it. Because if not, you're just gonna do another silly diet, get some results and then bounce out of there.
Yeah, there's definitely an art form to it, which I think you
Okay.
see very clearly when somebody is very green to this, and they're those
Yeah.
people that just jump on and say, I coach people. They give them a diet plan that they probably borrowed from somebody else, and they're like, nobody listens. It's like,
Dude,
exactly. It's not
we
that
had
easy.
early on, like new coaches were like, "Wait, I don't understand this. They paid money and they're not doing what I said." I said, "Yeah, well, this is the game. The game
Yeah.
as a coach, like I joke about this, but like when you get into the coaching world, you're like, I'm gonna give people exactly what to do and I'm gonna change their life. And then you're like, wait, they just told me about like their Aunt Susan in this check-in, and they're asking if like gum is a fat, and they're weighing a chicken breast that's, I don't know, 400 grams, and they think it's 400 grams of protein because we told them chicken was protein. And these are things like, as an experienced coach, you don't even know that's coming down the pipe until you see it. Like, I remember distinctly having conversations with my wife when I was getting a text message from someone who was weighing broccoli, and she thought the broccoli was like 200 carbs. And I'm like, what is happening? But it's the literal weight. So, like, these are things that, man, it was like, you play food detective for people, and it's fun. It's eye-opening because you don't know what you don't know. And like, you and I could have a conversation, and like, we'll probably forget some of the things that some people don't know. Like, we've seen
Yeah.
it 10 years ago. They're like, oh my God, like I forgot that's a thing. And that's where, like, for content, like, coaches could probably put out so much easier stuff,
Yeah,
like,
so much more helpful stuff
dude,
because
there was
it's
some,
so easy to keep leveling up, leveling up, leveling up, and then you
yeah.
get to this place where you can't even communicate.
Yeah, like, I praised someone the other day because she posted something about like, hey, if you're having trouble eating protein, just eat more of the protein you already like and are already eating. And I used to give that same piece of advice when I was coaching and when I had the company, and people were like, wow, I didn't even think of that, because people, they're like, oh my God, I need more protein. I have to think of a new protein food that I never heard of. And I'm like, no, you have 4 ounces of chicken at dinner, like, make it six. They're like, oh
Yeah.
my God. And I'm like, yeah. And some of our colleagues would be like, that's so stupid. They should have known that. Okay, I mean, whatever you want to say, but common sense stuff is only common sense to us because we've been doing it.
Well, I always think like when you go to like an auto shop or you get your taxes done and they're probably rolling their eyes like these freaking idiots. It's like the same exact thing. It's like, well, how
Yeah.
am I supposed to know?
Yeah. It's exactly the same. Like, we just think like but dude, there's a version of me in the past that thought the paleo diet was the thing, and I was afraid of beans. Like, afraid of white bread, like white potatoes. Like, what? And now I eat cookies every night and I'm in better shape. Like,
Yeah.
this is such a, and people don't believe this because we're all raised to believe that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But like, if you don't overdo it, you're fine. And that's why I'm just such a fan of like knowing how much you're eating and drinking, because
Yeah.
that's most people's problem. They just have all these assumptions. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not in a world that makes knowing what you're eating easy.
hmm They go above and beyond to make sure nutrition labels are a little bit confusing and that
Yeah.
you see what you want to see. It's like, oh, only 50 calories. Well, there's 46 servings. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But to your point, I was literally just at Chick-fil-A for a Chamber of Commerce event. One of my clients was there and she was ordering. She's like, there's something really intimidating having your trainer behind you when you're ordering at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I'm like,
People
it's
think
cool.
we eat just lettuce. Like,
Yeah.
every single, like, I go to pickleball and people know, like, they'll be like, oh, you had a nutrition business. And there's this dude, Reggie, that'll bake stuff for us. And I'll just stuff some coffee cake in my mouth, like,
Yeah.
after a game. And they're like, you eat that? And I'm like, "Ooh, let me tell you, like, let me tell you all the things that I eat."
Yep. And she whipped out like a meal plan that like ChatGPT put together for her. And I'm like, honestly, this looks really good, but
Yeah.
there's no amounts. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have chicken, I'm gonna have broccoli, I'm gonna have this. And I'm like, this is great, but how much? And it's
Yeah.
like, I think that's where a lot of the disconnect is, where people are like, I'm eating all this stuff. And then I said, you know, you could eat a lot of healthy food and stay stuck or even gain weight.
Yeah.
And that's very possible. And it happens all the time. She's like, oh wow, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. And it's like,
Yeah. People,
yeah.
they think of like the most important thing being like what the food is versus how much food, macronutrients, calories it has. And I'm like, this is where I think, like, we opened so many people's eyes because they were always under the assumption that there was like this list of good food, bad food, or like
Mhm.
diet friendly food, not diet friendly food. And I'm like, well, yes, like, there's like, and maybe it's controversial because I know like everybody hates the good food, bad thing, good food, bad food thing, which I understand. But like, yeah, like, pizza is probably, it's it can fit, but it's probably not the wisest decision. So for some of these people, they just try to gravitate towards the healthy stuff. They do it for a couple days and then they're like, this is ridiculous. So it's all context dependent. The pizza can absolutely, maybe it is not a healthy food, but it can be a part of a healthy diet or lifestyle.
Absolutely. It all comes down to, like I was telling her, it's like a puzzle. As long as it fits in
Mm.
the puzzle, that's all that really matters. Like
Yeah.
one meal doesn't make or break you. Take a look at the whole week. If you
Right.
had a pizza slice, but the rest of the week was spot on, awesome. And then you
Yeah.
can make it even simpler and be like, are we eating filling foods to make this easier?
Yep.
Yes or no. And that pretty much will tell you a lot if somebody's going to see success or not.
Yeah. It's funny though, because like you say this, and I think of things like eating vegetables once won't make you healthy. But the day my kids eat vegetables, I am playing mental gymnastics, and I'm like, oh, my kids are healthy today. They eat four green beans. Yeah.
I nailed it as a parent. Win.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting how, like, I'm assuming like you're noticing with your kids how these habits form or how these bad habits form when it's like how hard is it as a parent to get your kids to understand, hey, this you need this, but
Yeah.
it's not as tasty as a cookie.
Yeah, because I have one kid that's like just so she'll do whatever. The other kid is like gonna probably run the world one day. She's like like I don't want to say stubborn, but like she does what she wants to do. So if you say like, "Hey, baby, you should eat this," she'll say no. It could be her favorite thing, and if you suggest it, no. So I'm playing like all these like mind games with my kids all the time with food. And one of my favorite thing is I don't want to call out any of our Fit Pro friends that have young kids, but like when I see someone with like a 1.5 year old and they're like, my kid eats exactly what we eat for dinner. I'm like, just wait. I thought the same thing. And my kids ate everything that we ate when they were really little. And now they start to understand how the world works and choices and options. And dude, pasta, pizza, they love it. It's like, ho- but yesterday we made this Indian spice beef dish. And my oldest daughter loved it. And I'm like, this kid, all she wants is pasta. And she eats this. It's crazy, man, the kid diet stuff. But you really can see where habits can form, where preferences can form. That's why it's so important as a parent have certain language around food. Like we don't ever use the bad food, good food thing. We might say things are like healthy and what they do, like this'll make muscles, protein with resistance training, of course. This is healthy, it makes you live longer. Like my oldest daughter's 4 and she knows like what death is now, and she'll be like, I don't want to die. I don't want you to die. And I'm like, baby, I don't want to die either, but that's why I work out and that's why I eat my protein and my veggies and my fruits and I go to sleep. I think I'm a really smart parent when I say this. I'm like, baby, you know what sleep does? It makes us live longer and healthier. It doesn't help her get her little ass to sleep, but one day it'll happen.
One day
One day
that
she'll be like,
seed
oh,
is
I gotta go to
planted.
sleep. Yeah. I'm
But
trying, man.
it's interesting you bring that up because like the new advice, the people that are new to it always feel so confident in their advice. Like the whole like Dunning-Kruger effect
Yeah.
applies to parents clearly, but also
Yeah.
to the online space because we see these people who are clearly very new to the profession of nutrition coaching and they're giving this advice like this is the way, this is
Dude, this is a
exactly how it goes. And it's like you've never worked with anybody, so it
yeah.
sounds right and it technically is right, but there's so much missing.
That's a great example because it's very similar. Like the new parents are like, here's how I'm going to get my kid to read and here's what I'm going to do with this vacation and this and that. And then it's like you get your kid and you have the opportunity to go on vacation and then you're like, "Oh my God, I need to pack for 3 days and it's going to be awful. How about we just stay home?" It's like everybody thinks they know what they're doing when they're first into it, and then they realize, like you said, it's completely different animal. Like
I have
a
a
new coach
feeling
is just
that
like,
like a lot of people listening right now are shaking their head like, yup.
yeah. Like I was that dumbass in our Facebook group that was like, oh, just give your kids what you're eating. No, that doesn't work like that. Like we have backup meals. We will mix. We'll throw fruit on a plate of the most random food just to make it a little more nutritious.
You're
Here's a
basically introducing
package.
them to what a girl dinner is.
I don't know what that is. Should I know what that is?
I was just informed of this because my fiance is like, I just want to do a girl dinner night. I'm like, what is that? And she's like, you literally just grab a little bit of whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm,
Yep.
but my bro brain is like, but where's the protein? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is not a full meal.
Yeah, I guess we do that. We'll grab like a cheese stick, like some grapes, strawberries. I'll put like 4 peas on the plate. And oh, and I
Hmm.
have this trick. I'm sorry this is turning into like a kid parent food thing,
Hey,
but so like
totally,
I
totally
have this
okay on this
trick.
show.
So if you're a parent and your kid's like not eating what you want them to eat, but you know they'll have some of it, you have to be very strategic in how big you cut the food. If you cut it too small, they will perceive it as like I have 100 things to eat. So if you cut it a little bit bigger, but not so big that they'll choke on it, that's how you get them to eat it. So for example, if I make scrambled eggs, if I cut it like real small, they think they have so much to eat and they might not want it. So I'll cut it a little bit bigger and then they gobble it all up and it's cool. It's
I
an
feel
interesting
like you just gave the audience something. Somebody's going to be like,
yeah.
thank God for Mike. Like, I just had this experience with my dog Teddy, who's laying down right here.
Yeah.
He yanks on the leash, and I was at this chamber event, and this lady's like, listen, my dog's big. I did this. Try this. Now he
Yeah.
walks like a champ, literally like that. And I'm like, you
Yep.
just need that person that's been there, done that to be like, give it a try. Might not
Yeah.
work, might work, but then it could be life changing. So,
Dude, I think of it every time I'm cutting their food. I'm like, oh, if I cut this too big, they're gonna choke on it and take a lot of bites. If I cut it too small, they're gonna be intimidated. And kids are funny, man. They'll be eating, they'll have like 3 bites, and then they'll just get up and like run outside. And I'm like, what are they doing? So
yep.
like you have to have like all this strategy about food, and everybody thinks they're just going to give their kid exactly what they're eating, the way they're eating it. And the people that start these like theories and have these beliefs, they just got the kid that does what they do. Most kids are not like that. So like even all this
Yeah.
parenting advice, it's the same as nutrition advice, man. It's like the parent advice that's coming from these experts, like they probably have the kid that just does the thing and they think it's because they did this. It's like, no, just roll of the dice. You got the
Yeah.
kid that listens.
It's like that personal trainer that takes all of the credit for their clients' results. And it's like, oh, I missed the part where you tucked them in at night and where you said no to the pizza for them and where you were lifting the weight instead of watching them.
Yep. Yeah. We don't know how the hell anything really works.
No, there's a ship that's going. We're just doing our best to blow wind into the sails in the
Yeah.
right direction.
Oh, yeah, I'm like, all right, do my wife and I love each other? Are these kids like getting fed? Okay, we did about 87% of what makes a happy, successful child.
Yeah. And I actually
Everything else is,
forgot.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot I put in the notes that I wanted to touch on the just the concept of calories because I think that's a lot of parents can fall into this trap too of like wanting their kids to eat so perfectly that they don't even get to the point where they have enough calories.
Dude,
And
that's huge.
that can happen a lot with people that are so focused on clean eating that they
Yeah.
miss the point that you need calories to function even if it's not ideal.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people that exactly. And they will just try to eat healthy foods. They'll eat almost nothing. And we don't want people to like starve themselves skinny and be all unhealthy and hormones out of whack. And the same with the kids. Like some of these snacks are like these little puffs are like 35 calories. And if my kid is like, I want a snack, I want this, and I'm like, baby, that's not even like food. Like you can have, and so I'll just try to, and for other people that like adults that are missing calories, like you got to just work some of this other stuff in addition because you might be eating, but you're not getting any sustenance. And my daughter
Mhm.
loved, like she discovered chewing gum. So she'd be like, I want dessert. I want a piece of gum. And I'm like, baby, you could have whatever and then have your gum too. Or she's like, I want a snack. I want gum. I'm like, what? What is this? Kids are weird, man.
Hey, whatever gets them the gum, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've had many clients over the years like this where it's like they're like I just feel so low energy and you look at their intake and you're like well you're not even reaching 1,000 calories, of course you
Yeah.
feel low energy because you have no energy coming in.
Yeah. Or they eat 3,000 calories and they sleep 4 hours a night because they love TikTok. So yeah, it goes both ways. And that
Yep.
was like our so early on we didn't have people tell us how much they slept. And then I was getting like hints of people associating carb intake with like overall energy. And like we know carbs are great for energy, right? But so I would like reduce somebody's carbs and then they'd be like, Mike, oh, the 20 grams of carbs. I'm so tired now. And I'm like, dude, you don't even track right. And you're telling me that it's the 20 grams of carb. I said, so we started tracking sleep and we are like, oh my God, these adults, like I thought everybody kind of went to bed, but these people are getting 5 hours of sleep. And I'm like, hey, dude, I don't think it's the 20 grams that we took away this week. I think it's that you sleep 5 hours and we cracked the code.
And what's sad about that is I know I've asked people every week in check-ins like how'd you sleep? And I know I track my sleep and it's very similar to calories in that people do overestimate how much they
Yeah.
get. So even if they're telling you 5 hours, it's probably more like four, maybe three and a half if you're really looking at
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah, that's a great point because when you get into bed, it doesn't mean that's when you fell asleep. And when you did fall asleep, it doesn't mean you stayed asleep or had good sleep hygiene. And parents, again, you can relate. We got a kid that wakes up every night and disrupts that. You know, I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, where the hell am I?
This is why I tell
Yeah.
every client, I'm like, you can blame your kids for pretty much everything and it's
Yeah.
valid.
Oh, it is valid. And I think
Yeah.
about like when someone's like, I can't work out, I have a kid. It's like, yeah, because like what are your options? 5 a.m. or 10 p.m.? So you're either going to be tired throughout the whole day, or maybe the relationship with your partner is affected because now you have no time for them. So like these things are real. And like we early on in my career, like I didn't think of it like that. I was like, oh, if they prioritize health and fitness, they'll figure it out. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but it also is going to cost them something to get that workout in. And you know, we used to have a lot of people that were like, I'm gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and do a run and burn 300 calories. And I used to tell them like, if your sole purpose of that run is to lose fat, like I would rather have you sleep because even if you do the run and say it did burn 300 calories, like your body not running would burn 150. So like you're talking a net 150. I mean, obviously we know it's not that precise, but like that's how people need to look at this stuff. They go for these crazy workouts and they get these like calorie burn rewards and then they think they could just eat it back, which they overeat it. They feel like they earned more food. It's just
Yeah.
it's
The
tough.
the whole tech calorie novelty crap, it's like if people just stop tracking
Yeah.
calories burned, everything else tends to fall in line as far as
Yeah.
results.
Yep. And we used to tell people it's almost like algebra. And I wasn't that great at math, so I might mess this up. But when you have like a problem and it's like solve for X, here are all the other numbers, that's calories burned. Like if we know what your weight is, we know what you're eating, we know your daily activity, like we don't need to know exactly how many calories are burned because it's like these numbers will solve for that number. If results aren't happening, we know maybe calories burned are lower than assumed. Or you don't even like we never even really paid attention to them because you there's really no way to measure it. There's what four ways a human body burns calories, none
Yep.
of which are accurate unless you're going into a lab for 3 weeks. But
And
you're
even then, there's a margin of error.
yeah.
But people think that the treadmill that reads their palms can like tell them how many calories they're
Yeah.
burning.
Or and I love like Orange Theory, I think it's great, but they are like, hey, come get your points. Like you get splat points, you burned a lot of calories. And I would see people like in those groups are like, oh, my splat points weren't as high, or I didn't burn that many calories. Or someone would be like, look, I burned 1,500 calories. And I'm like, oh man, it was probably like 820. Like, am
Yeah.
I gonna tell them? Yeah, I'll tell them. Yeah.
I was like, knowing you, I think you would tell them.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I was a know-it-all in many instances because I honestly like if somebody was all out there like I burned 1,500 calories, I don't necessarily care about that person's opinion of me. I care about the 50 other people that are watching and will be like,
yeah.
"Oh shit, I didn't know that." That's good information. So at the expense of this person disliking me because I commented that they didn't get the reward they thought, I'll educate 50 people along the way. I'll take that every day of the week.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
The means or the ends justify the means.
Yeah, yeah.
But to circle back to the calorie burn, I have heard one good reason for using it. I was learning from one of Cody McBroom's talks, and
Yeah.
he uses it as a very flexible way for people to get a certain amount of cardio in. So it's
I
like,
see.
let's say you're traveling or you can't really have access to anything other than your watch. It'll get us in the ballpark enough if it's like, okay, so you burn that many calories doing your run like at home, aim for that many calories when you're traveling. So it can have some use, but it's not
Yeah,
what
yeah.
most people think when they're like, oh, I'm burning this many calories.
Yeah, that's a cool way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. And it's like, that's why it crushes me. I'm not going to be at Real Coaches Summit because being around other coaches, hearing how they utilize different things, I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
my God, everything that I'm missing out on.
Yeah. I
But
get you. I love those conversations. Yeah.
they're the best. They're the best. Now, I wanted to touch on GLP-1s because
Okay.
that's like the hot thing since last time we talked. And have you noticed like any trends that you've seen with like people that have reached out to you or maybe people in your life where you're like, man, if I was back in the game, I would really like guide them in this direction.
Yeah, it's tough because one, I think they're a great net positive for the world. I think this obesity issue that we have, like I don't think on a grand scale we are solving it because I think at the root of it is capitalism. And while I may be a benefactor of the system of capitalism, I think that like it's undefeated. And if there are psychological tricks and evolutionary and biological tricks that companies can play on people, they are going to get people to sit around more and eat more delicious food because life is hard and it's honestly some of the most pleasurable stuff that people can experience in a moment. So I don't think like coaching and education and all that stuff is going to solve the obesity epidemic. I think it will help a lot of people. However, I don't think it's going to be able to reach everyone. So GLP-1s, I think, are like a man, like a gift from the gods of the universe. Like it's really cool stuff. I think that there are obviously things that you need to worry about, which is like muscle loss, just like any other diet you would do. So eat your protein, lift your weights, eat nutritious foods. Don't just take GLP-1s to lose fat and not worry about your health overall. Obviously, you can get healthier by dropping fat, but health is pretty complicated and there's a lot of other things you should do. So don't be one of those people that takes GLP-1, drops a bunch of weight, but pretty much just fills their day with like cookies and cupcakes and maybe like a salad. If I was in business or if I was a coach, I would not be shit talking it because I think it just makes you look insecure and scared, which I completely understand. And I say this now as somebody outside of the game. Maybe if I got back into it, I would think a little different or use language a little bit different. I would probably, if I was a coach, I would be thinking about how can I how can I make it a more welcoming space because I think there's so much stigma around it. People want to say it's cheating, but I'll tell someone I'm like, "Oh, you bought those veggies. Why didn't you grow them in your yard? You drive to work. Why didn't you walk to work? You're wearing a t-shirt. Why didn't you make that in your little sewing factory in your house? Like because it was easier to do the other thing." So I don't think anybody should feel bad about it being easier. It's not cheating. It's just suppressing appetite and making a annoying goal simpler. And it's always the
Yeah.
people that are into fitness that want to like judge people who are not into fitness for not doing fitness. And I'm like, think about all these other hobbies out there. Like the thought of like knitting makes me like, no, I don't want to do that. Just like most of our clients would never want to become a fitness person. I think there's like if it's a spectrum, you need to get on that spectrum of what a fit person is if you want lifelong results, GLPs or not. But yeah, I think they're a great thing. I think there's certain things you need to worry about with them. I think if you're a coach, don't crap talk them because there's opportunity there because even if it's not at first, just like a lot of people that we helped, like this wasn't their first diet. I'm sure your clients, it's not their first fitness thing. Like maybe they'll do the GLP-1, they'll see success, maybe they'll feel a little weaker and they want to get fitter. And then guess what? They're gonna go to the coaches that didn't shit talk the drugs. So
Mhm. And
yeah,
not
the
only
world is
that,
different.
you're really making the pool smaller because
Yeah.
as you were doing that, I was like looking up the percentages, just like about 1 in 8 people right now are current in the US are taking a GLP-1. And
Yeah.
out of those one of eight, like those 8 people, 50% are overweight and or obese, whatever stage that is, 1, 2, 3 or higher.
Yep.
And so you have 1 in 4, and that's about 25% of people that you're saying, F you, you're taking the easy way. I don't want to work with you. And
Yeah.
in a tough market, that makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so easy to see through it. It's just this like scarcity, insecurity, fear thing, this judgment thing. Like my big theory is like not all our buddies in the field and our friends, because I think these are really good people we're like connected with. But the field as a whole, the wellness field as a whole, does not really like fat people. They think of them as like lazy or gross or this or that. And it's so crazy to me because you're in the field to change them and help them. And then this thing comes out and it's like, hey, I could do your job better. And everyone's like, oh, I hate you. I wanted to be the thing that helped them. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, man, I guess like GLP-1's called your bluff. You didn't get in the field because you wanted to help people. You got in the field because you saw an opportunity to change these people who you thought were lazy into not being that anymore. Like it
Or
was your
some
path
weird
process.
validation that
Yeah.
they're like valuable.
But it's the, and you know, like the theory of like why so many people hate them is because the GLP-1s is because like people, they do gain status on being fit and healthy. So when this comes along, it's the great equalizer, right? They didn't have to try as hard. Now they're on the same plane as me. I've been busting my ass in the gym for 10 years, eating chicken and broccoli, and now this comes out and it helps people. Like it's all like who cares?
Yeah. And I think it's also a function of the fact that they don't actually work with a lot of people because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
always these people that are like, if you do what I did, then you'll get exactly what I got. And it's like, okay, so how many people have you actually worked with? Because I know in the beginning, I was that dipshit 20-year-old that's like, oh, everybody's just lazy. Like, if they just do these things, it'll be fine. But then you work
Yeah.
with enough people and you're like, they have way more money than me. They
Yeah.
are such better partners to their partner than I am to mine. They are the
Yeah.
world's best parent. They're super charitable. Like this one aspect of their life they struggle with, but they are
Yeah.
crushing me in every other aspect.
Dude, I talked to
Who's
our buddy
who's the
Jeb
problem
about
here?
we talk about this all the time. He's got like geniuses on his roster and like there's someone that's like, "Oh, they can't figure it out." Like what? No, man. It's hard. Again, like they got to fight biology and capitalism and cookies and cakes and hitting buttons on their phone or tapping screens and they could have anything they want. Like when I
Yeah.
was growing up, it was like it was pizza or maybe Chinese food that could get delivered. Now I could get any I could see a commercial for M&Ms and M's and I could have M&Ms in like 20 minutes or 30 whatever the hell it is. Like so one of the best tips I used to give people is delete all the food delivery apps from your phone. The only food delivery app you have on your phone is your grocery store delivery app. And then you can load whatever you should buy into that, and that shows up. You're not going to the grocery store and impulse buying all this yummy stuff.
Yeah. I actually like utilizing the apps in a way that's a little bit different where I'll tell a client and be like, listen, if you could open up DoorDash right now or Uber Eats
Mhm.
and you could pick anything, what would it be? Now go into ChatGPT and say, okay, make this hit my macros, make this
Yep.
super easy for you to cook and make a grocery list and either order it on like whatever
Yeah.
the whatever it is, Uber will deliver your groceries and cook it that night.
Yeah.
And
That is
ChatGPT can
it's a
crank
good
it out.
idea. It's just scary because once people get on those apps, man, the psychological games, they are gonna win a lot of times.
Absolutely.
That person's gonna see like just call it a Big Mac, for example. They'll see a Big Mac And then they'll go to Chat GPT and they'll be like, this version is gonna suck, man.
But you say that. I
Yeah.
have learned from being in an area that does not exactly have great food. Greenville, North Carolina, I love a lot about you, but just not the food. And I come from Jersey. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have good food. When
Anything you
you're in
want.
an
Yeah.
area that doesn't quite do it when you go out to eat, or like the DoorDash is not exactly that appealing, and you
Hmm.
get a burger cooked at home, or we do Italian at home, and I'm like, this is better than the restaurant. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
might be in an area where it does actually end up better.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
You're just spoiled. You're up in New York.
Yeah. I'm not in the city though. The city has everything, but we have like everything we want or need
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah,
yeah, we
you're
have,
still good. Anything inside of that border, like you guys can cook Italian, you
yeah.
got good subs, you got good everything.
I
Got to
got some of the
cherish
best
it.
Indian food right down the street.
I'm so
Oh,
jealous.
man.
I'm so jealous. I feel like every time I go home, I like am in a food coma because I'm like I
Yeah.
just got to get it all in now. But this is like what people deal with where it's like food overwhelm, because if you are in a good spot, it's like, oh my God, it's impossible not to fall
Yeah,
into
and
those
it's
traps
social.
that
Like,
corporations play.
I know everybody's like, oh, get off your phone and go mingle with real humans again. And it's like, what do people do? Like, what, like, realist, like, all of us and our buddies are like, you got to find other things to do than eat. But it's like, okay, it's 8 o'clock and you want to get together with your friends. What are you going to do? You're probably going to get food or drinks or be in an environment that has all that stuff. So it's hard to battle that. Everybody's like trying to be social, but like, it's half the year in certain areas you don't even really go outside because it's too cold.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always a tough one with the walking. I'm like telling
Yeah.
people, yeah, go get your steps in. And it's like, I had somebody in Wisconsin and it's like
Yeah.
-3 degrees. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting my ass up for 20 degrees. So I can't really talk
Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Walk around the house, walk around the apartment, whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But it's a tough game, and it's not, the odds are not stacked in our favor. It's
Yeah.
really not. And I think a lot of people got to come to that realization where it's like we're playing a really tough game right now. And some people are
Yeah.
playing it on the hardest difficulty. And we're judging them because like you were born a way that made it a little bit easier.
Yeah. And a lot of this, like, I want to like slap myself in the face for any post I ever had that mentioned like how genetics weren't holding people back. Like, obviously you can bust through no matter what your genetics are, but like your genetics control so much of who you are, your decision making, your willpower, your determination, all this stuff is like a lot of it is
Mhm.
genetic. So for us to say that like, oh, you can't blame your genes. It's like, well, it's a lot of influence, man.
It is. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you look at somebody and and you're judging them, it's like if you were born with the same brain chemistry, with the exact same genetics, with the same experiences, making the same
Yeah.
decisions, feeling the way that they feel on a day-to-day basis, you would look and feel exactly the same.
Yeah. It's like saying someone in a certain country in the world wouldn't be they'd be the only one that isn't that religion in their country. Like it's not you're just a product of your environment. Like why does someone think that they'd be the only fit person in that family? Like they think they would just choose it. They would see some YouTube video that would motivate their ass to not be like their family. Like probably not.
Only it were that easy, right?
Yeah.
Like breaking the
It's
generational
choice. Yeah.
health, that's probably one of the toughest things anybody can do, is breaking
Yeah.
through the generational patterns.
But this is the whole thing about like free will. Like free will is like it's probably not really a thing because there's so much influence. Like that is not like the next words that come out of my mouth. I'm not really choosing them. They're just bubbling up based on conditioning and previous conversations and who I am. So like food and decisions and work ethic and like you know, uh, interest in the gym. It's all, you can't just turn that on, man.
This is why the Mind in the Back Rows podcast needs to come back.
Yeah.
The deeper conversations, they used to be so stimulating.
Yeah, somebody told me it's been a year since Jeb and I did one of those podcasts.
Has it?
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, that's a fast year. Feels like I was listening to it like not too long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm lazy, man. I like, you know me,
Yeah. I
Legos and
mean,
pickleball.
podcast editing is not easy. It is
Yeah.
really not easy. So I totally understand. I do the most janky like iMovie version of it that takes like 20 minutes, but there's some people that go hard on that
There's
stuff.
got to
I don't
be
know
AI
how.
that'll just do it for you now.
There is, but it's garbage. Like it ends
Yeah.
up cutting out really good parts and then
Hmm.
it like highlights really bad parts and you're like, are you even doing anything?
Yeah.
It's a lot of motion, not a lot of production.
Yeah, I'm like I think about that. I feel like if I were to come back and do anything, I would have to like learn all these tools and stuff that are out there.
That's why I'm so glad that inverse relationship exists. Like I feel like the less I do, like the better it turns out.
Yeah, and it's a good point. And like I'll talk to a lot of coaches and they want all this stuff. Like, what software do I need? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I think you'd be fine if, you had your client download this food app and then they just did this spreadsheet weekly. Like, I
Yeah.
don't I don't think you need all this stuff.
Yeah. I've debated going to a Google sheet. Like I've really
Yeah,
heavily
I mean,
debated it
and
because
like, don't get me
everything is
wrong, the
missing one
time,
or two things. It's so annoying.
right, the time and the times are different. Like, I started in 2015 and we ran that spreadsheet to like 2020, I think. And like, it was great. But now, I mean, would people be okay with a spreadsheet? I mean, I think so. So if
Yeah.
I were to do something, I might do that. I don't know, or I'd use one of these services. But like you said, you want you're like, oh man, I wish it had this. Like for me, I'm like, yo, give me the poops. Like we need to track the poops. You gonna
That's
go talk to your developers and add that in there? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
I'm more
people,
on like the personal training side of things. So I'm
yeah,
thinking like programming and stuff. Like I think of
yeah.
guys like James Pratt in Jersey, or yeah, James?
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah. He has a clientele of like 600 plus, and they're doing it on pen and paper. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it you have to make it simple for people. And there's an argument to be made that the more apps you have people that they have to download, because like, you might need a food app, you might need a login app where you do your workouts, you might need an app where you talk to your coach. Like a Google Sheet and a phone number are probably fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything else is really just fluff. And I think the one thing I wanted to cap off on was I think it really should be problem focused. Like how you said a
Mhm.
coach was asking, what app do I need? I think the first question is like, what problem is it solving? And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people go about that with their nutrition and fitness the same way. It's like, what's the program? What's the thing I need? And it's like, well, why don't you just
Yeah.
start with what the biggest problem is? And then whatever
Right.
that fixes, do that.
Right. And that's why I was such a big fan of people tracking their food because they'd be like, I want to lose weight. Nothing's working. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? Guess why it's not working? Because something you're doing is not what you think you're doing. So you track the food. Holy crap, dude. This is what's happening. And they're like, whoa, I had no idea. And, people still like to argue with me that, oh, no one has to track food. Just have them do this. I'm like, okay. Like, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
go solve the problem immediately while you dance around it with your client. Tell them to just eat protein and fiber.
Yeah, we all know what certification you got, and you'll learn soon enough that,
Yeah.
yeah, it sounds great, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, I don't want to hold you any longer. I want to respect your time and just huge thanks for coming on because you're definitely one of my favorite people in the fitness space. And
Oh,
I love
thank you.
having you on because you always leave really incredible tips like the parenting stuff that people don't really hear on other
Yeah.
podcasts. So thank you for taking the time.
Dude, thank you, man. Wish I could hang out with you again soon, but we're
Yeah.
not crossing paths at any of these
Are,
conferences.
are you going to Seattle in November?
I think I'm going to, yeah.
I think I'm going to make that because
That was
that is
so
the only
fun,
one
man.
I could convince my fiance
Yeah.
before our wedding. Like, can I just go to one?
Yeah.
And I got that one.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'll do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. We'll
All right, man.
repeat it. All right. I'll see you there, but we'll be in touch.
All right. Talk soon, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Talk soon. Later.